do that because it was starting to get weird, you know? It's like 45 years old. Oh, my girlfriend. Yeah, we're going to go out and get some pop, you know? Going to parties. It was just weird. Because I hang out with people my age, you know, and they all got married. They all had kids. And I just couldn't contribute when people were standing around talking about marriages and kids, you know? I feel like a little kid. They're sitting there going like, oh, the superintendent of the mayoral candidate. And the conversation would come around to me. I felt like I was like 8 years old. I'd just be like, did anybody see the YouTube video where the raccoon stole the cat's food and the cat was scratching him and the raccoon didn't care? He just came in like this, like George Foreman. And then he reached out, he had hands. All of a sudden he had hands. I didn't know they had hands. He scooped it up and he ran away on paws. You guys know they had hands? I'm just thinking it's too fucking late, you know? Come on, man. I'm going to have a kid. I'm going to die of natural causes when the kid's in 5th grade. Right? Throwing him a Frisbee. We used to use these in the 70s. I had to do a face plant. My kid's standing there. Mom, Dad's sleeping again. Yeah, I feel hopelessly behind. All my friends have kids. Most of my friends who have kids are cool. But I got a couple of those who think now that they have a kid, like that I don't understand anything anymore. You know those people? Most basic shit. Hey, man, it's kind of cold out today. Oh, dude, you don't understand. You don't understand cold. So you got a 2-year-old with a mitten up his ass, and you're trying to get chocolate up the other one's face. Like, all right, I get it. You have a more complex life, but I still understand being cold. Teeth chattering kind of lets me know, right? Mine just turned 6. Mine just turned 7. I just feel hopelessly behind. You know, so what I'm actually thinking of doing, I'm thinking about adopting. You know? Yeah. Some off, right? Mine just turned 6. Mine just turned 7. I'd love to just show up with an 8-year-old like dominoes. Yeah. Now I get to tell you what you don't understand. 7-year-old, where do they turn 8? 8 is such a funny age. Terrible, too. Try the instant 8 when just bam, they're just there like, all their issues. Dude, I should do it though. I should adopt. I think it's a great thing to do. And I already know what I want to get. I do. Gotta do is let him sit down. I am immediately the greatest human being this kid has ever met. Just bring him on. Yeah, man, have a seat. He'd be like, I get to sit down? Yeah, lay down on the couch. He'd be like, it's like a cloud. It's like a cloud. Yeah, I'll get him a bowl of Fritos. Put on cricket or soccer, one of those sweatshop sports. I don't know. Kid would love me. So that's my first draft pick. All right? Coming out of the gate with that. Are you? You've been out of line all day, mister. Don't even start that shit. Don't even start that shit. You say that every time. Yes, you do. Mm-hmm. Every fucking time you say that. You know the answer. Now, you want me to say it again? Fine, I'll break it down to you, okay? You know what? You know why it is? You know why? You want to know why? Because you're so. All right? Yeah, dude. You so. Dude, he's fucking killed people. You understand that? No, he doesn't. He doesn't have to make his bed, too. No, he doesn't. Because he doesn't sleep. No, that's the thing. Really is. That's the thing. I hate that saying there's no reason. Obviously, I'm not saying to hit a woman, you know. But saying there's no reason, I think that's crazy. When you say there's no reason, that kills any sort of examination as to how two people ended up at that place. If you say there's no reason, you cut out the build-up, you're just left with the act. How are you going to solve it if you don't figure it out? Look how awkward it is in here right now. I said you shouldn't hit a woman. I'm just saying, any sort of examination as to how two people ended up at that place. If you say there's no reason, you cut out the build-up, you're just left with the act. How are you going to solve it if you don't figure it out? Look how awkward it is in here right now. I said you shouldn't hit a woman. I'm just saying, how come you can't ask questions? You can only ask questions about what the guy did. You can never ask about the woman. Why is that? Why is that? What is that? What does answer him right mean? What does that mean? Are you the idiot who got up halfway through the special during the bit? And here, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Fucking had to ignore all of that, and now you're gonna like yell out? And not only that, yell something that makes no fucking sense whatsoever? Answer him! Answer him! Every fucking special I do, there's always one. Always right down the fucking middle. Talking about hitting women, sweetheart. And I think you just added another reason. Jesus fucking Christ. therapist. I'm not even in a relationship with her, and she's fucking nagging me. Fucking unbelievable. Look, I understand hitting a woman's a bad thing, okay? Well, how come you can't fucking ask questions? I just don't understand. Like, if I got bit by a rattlesnake, wouldn't you guys have some questions? All right? How did it happen? Did you not see it? Were you fucking with it? And this snake gets so mad, it almost killed you. Firemen put out a fire. They don't just drive away afterwards. They sift through the debris. How did it start? Here's an oily rag, right? Look, I realize I'm coming off pretty ignorant right about now. I realize that. Let me extend an olive branch then, okay? I realize that there's some animal guys out there, okay? Horrible guys, you know, have a rough day at the factory, come home, tuna casserole, and just start swinging, all right? Even hockey has 2 minutes for instigating, right? They understand that some back and forth happened before that shit, you know? You know what it is? Is every case is handled like that Rihanna one, where they just say, the guy's a piece of shit, fuck this guy, blah, 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 send him to jail, and then they never ask anything about that. You know, I'm not saying he should have done it, but I'm just saying. Just saying, dude, in your heart of hearts, what do you think was going down before that happened? You think she was just sitting there going, oh my God, Baskin Robbins, you want to get some ice cream? That's why I sell more albums than you, motherfucker! Right? To be fair, she could have just been sitting there going, I need a tissue. Do you keep those in the glove box? Oh my God, I'll bring my out! I'll bring my out! Now, fuck that, because you know what it is? They never address how women argue, which I think is a core of a lot of that shit. You know, I gotta tell you something, man. Like, I never knew how women argued. But after 20 years of losing every significant battle in a relationship, I finally figured out how they argued. I'm gonna tell you, but that's why you're just gonna grow old and be alone. Then I'd lose my shit. Next thing you know, I'm in the kitchen washing dishes for the 9th fucking time in a row. This is what the argument was about. I was so right. What happened? So if you learn anything from my ignorance tonight, just know this. Next time you're in a battle with your beautiful woman, your wife, girlfriend, whatever, and they start out of nowhere, okay? You're winning, and they just start saying that crazy shit out of nowhere. Just know in that moment you've won the fight, okay? All right? Don't get mad. Bob and weave, slip all of that shit. Maybe because you got a blow-up doll from 30 years ago, and that's what scares me, because everything gets better, right? You look at when cars first came out, the stupid horn, you had a crank started, you'd run over your best friend. Now you can start one up with a remote control from like 50 yards away, right? Remember when airbags first came out? They just had one for the driver. My family! Oh my God! Oh my God! Compete with that. Go longer than 90 minutes, even on your birthday. By the 3rd trip to the fridge, she's gonna be like, yeah, fucking get it yourself. What am I, your slave? Go fuck yourself. And after you've been with one of these robots, like sex dolls, you're not gonna be able to go back to a real woman. Right? With all her hopes and dreams and her needs. You're gonna be coming home, she's like, what is going on with you? We're not connecting, we need a date night. All you'll be thinking is like, how do I shut this fucking thing off? What is it, on nagging mode? Why isn't it blowing me right now? That thing will still be building them up, you know, just laying there like, I don't think you smell that bad. This is my favorite bridge. Yeah. And we're all gonna fucking die off. And what's gonna be left to fight these robots off is gonna be an entire generation of hipster spawn. Yeah. And they're gonna go to war ironically. Yeah. Dressed like, I don't know, fucking growing civil.
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I'm gonna tell you something straight off the motherfucking press. I ain't coming for no foolishness.
So anyways, I'm a married man with a kid. Happily married man. Yes, I am. I love my wife to death. I love everything about being fucking married. But I'll tell you this right now. We do fight a lot. We do argue all the time. If I've learned anything in 5 years of being married is we're always working on me. You know? Evidently, 5 years of being married is we're always working on me. You know? Evidently, my wife is this completed work under museum glass that is to be admired and studied. Like, how did she do that? And I'm like one of these guys, you know those buildings that just has scaffolding around it for like 6 straight years? So you're like, are they ever going to finish that thing? Is that some sort of insurance job? Jesus Christ, what a piece of shit. You should just tear it down and start over again. Yeah. I have a temper. Yeah. I have a temper. So that's the thing. That's what kind of ruins things. Everything else I do is fine, but I have a fucking temper, and it just ruins shit. And then my wife always says the same thing. She's always just like, I just don't understand. Where did that come from? Where is that coming from? It's you just go from 0 to 100 in 2 seconds. It's like, first of all, I idle at 75 miles an hour. All right? So don't give me this 0 to 100. I walked into this restaurant at 75. I could hear that guy talking too loud on his cell phone. Yeah, I fucking tried all of this shit, you know. Whenever she says that to me, though, I swear to God, I just don't understand. Where is this coming from? It actually hurts my feelings when she says that, you know? Because it makes me feel like she's not listening to me. It's like, honey, how many childhood stories do I have to tell you before you follow the breadcrumbs to the absolute lunatic that you married? Didn't you ever take a psychology class? This tree. I'm just standing there like, Afterwards, I ran upstairs to my top bunk. And my dad knew he fucked up, to his credit. He came up, he tried to smooth it over. He's like, all right, come on back down. It's over. Come on down, enjoy the holiday. And I'm like, God, I want to eat this. I fucking hate you. Right? He eventually coaxed me down, you know. He softened up a little bit. Look, you don't get your fucking ass back downstairs. No one else can open that gift. I'm moving out. I said move it out. I go back. Tell you how heartbreaking that is to see from a toddler. Must latch your own daughter. I'm like, I gotta end this thing, man. This rage, it has to end with me. I can't have an angry kid just walking around fucking kicking toys, fucking bullshit, just being like a lunatic. I want to be like that priest in The Exorcist when the devil got in him and he just fucking leaps out the window and dies, you know? So I've been fucking trying everything, you know? I tried, you know, I don't know, I meditating, wearing all the way up, and at the end of the day, I couldn't fucking do it. There's just no way as a man to take a bath and not think about killing yourself, you know? There's just something about slipping into that coffin-shaped thing. It's like, am I gonna slit my wrist? Am I testifying against the mob? What the fuck am I doing here? I'm a man, I don't take a bath. You take a shower, hose it off, block out your feelings. Keep walking till you drop of a heart attack. Literally, as you're going down. This is why I'm gonna do it, because if I actually don't have a temper, like, I just think to myself, like, what could my wife complain to me? Like, what could my wife bitch at me about, right? I fucking crush everything. I do. I take out the trash. Okay, the gate was squeaky the other day. I made sure that was done. You know, I pick up after myself. I like to think I'm a good dad. I work my ass off. I make a great fucking living. Crush all of that. All she has on me.
All right, tonight's guest is one of the most talented comedians around and my all-time favorite comic. He's an actor. You've seen him on Chappelle's Show, Breaking Bad, and the movie The Heat. I am personally grateful to him because he helped me get this show on the air by appearing on the pilot. Please give a warm welcome to my good friend, Bill Burr, everybody! Bill Burr!
Chair here.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, well, it's your show. You're tall.
Yeah, I know. I
Sort
kind
of
of want to bring,
average.
but we seem like the same. Like, look in the monitor. That's about right.
I look uncomfortable.
Actually, that was an internet comment I saw that was like, they said, when I see people in high chairs pretending to have like a casual conversation and never addressing the fact that they're in these
You
preposterous
got
high
to.
chairs.
There should be a high top bar here with like potato skins.
Doesn't that feel?
Yeah, you have like that. Like, I don't know if it's me, but you're so happy. Sometimes it bothers me. It does. It's just like, all right, I get it. The sun is shining. Just take it down a little bit. Like, I get actually anxiety around people as happy as you. It's like,
Is that right?
I can't hit the ball back, dude. I can't sustain. It's a rally. You come into the net with your happiness. I'm just like, this is over. He's going to smash it right at me. Act. Yeah. And then they just think like, oh, he's like that 24/7, screaming and yelling. And that's not true. I mean, it is definitely a chunk of my day. No, I don't like being, angry. I don't want to be that guy. I'd like to be jolly, but it hasn't been in the cards so far. I try to be.
Well, we were going to have you on the first week. We were going to have you on the first week, but then you went and got married.
Yeah.
Which I
finally grew up.
Yeah.
Yeah, what they're walking into. I can't wait. I don't wish this on anybody. But when the gay divorces start coming in, they're really going to step back, I think, being like, what the hell were we wishing for here? You know? I could have sent him a card on his deathbed. I didn't. It really wasn't worth that.
Because they can't.
That was their big thing. I can't go and say goodbye when they're dying. But that's if you make it. But it's literally like, as far as marriage is working, that's like the sperm making it to the egg. The gay dude who's not doing shit is going to get all this stuff and be like, oh, I'm used to a certain lifestyle, right? And then the gay guy who's killing it, he's going to go back to the studio apartment, calling it right now. Calling it right now. It's going to be horrible.
So you're...
It'll be great. It'll bring straights and gays closer together. Just start like a divorce bar, like all people welcome. And you just compare notes, like what's more horrific? Oh, stronger. You know, they just sort of rest stuff. You guys are taking this really seriously. Like, does he really think that's how gay people break up? I'm just messing around. He introduced me as a comedian. Right? Am I going to have to go on split screen with a blogger tomorrow? Right? Comedy, can it go too far?
We're going to come back with more Bill Burr. There's no way we're ending this. Billy Burr, our first 2-act interview.
There you go. What are you going to do? Like, you're going to come back. Like, how much time? Like, Ted Williams just has his head frozen. That wasn't his choice. Like, how long is that head going to have to be frozen before they have a cure for having no body? You know? So let's just say they come up with it. A cure. You're going to be like, I mean, I already have
somebody that you knew.
Not.
Can you let me
Continue with your ignorant thoughts? Sure.
No, that's, you shouldn't say that. This is the first time I ever experienced this. I had to be able to fucking say what I'm thinking. You see, his own daughters are going like, so wait a minute. You're going to be bothering my toenail polish? They got to get their head around it. I'm allowed to get my head around it. God bless him. Okay, that's what he wanted to do. Well, he did it. Now he's a she, is he? But he still has his dick, right? Ornette Coleman, he was one of those guys who played so free with jazz, there was really no one. And even like Charlie Parker would walk off the bandstand going, I don't know what the fuck these guys are playing.
Okay.
Is that right? I think this is a groundbreaking thing.
Yep.
That he's the first. And he will be like, he's like the, I don't know.
First what, though?
Well, I'm not going to wade into that fucking sink. You're not
A
petty
guy
at all.
dumped me one time, and
Right.
now they're all dicks. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
But there was a period in your life, you can't tell me that you didn't get a little petty. I did.
I actually never did.
I did, all those guys that dumped me. No, I had it, yeah.
I didn't necessarily have the greatest track record with men, but I didn't write you all off because of that. I still was looking for love.
Listen.
What?
All right. So what I'm saying is, as far as like the go that 180 the other fucking way.
Yeah, I think people should be definitely allowed to be honest with it. I just feel like the cruelty is what's unnecessary.
No, not cruelty, but you ought to be able to say like, Bruce, what the fuck? Sorry, Caitlin, what the fuck? Wow. Wait a minute. Can I sit down for a second?
They were talking to one of his sons from his other marriages, like Brandon or something, and he said, she lifted up her dress to show his.
Can I sit down for a second?
They were talking to one of his sons from his other marriages, like Brandon or something, and he said, she lifted up her dress to show his son her new boobs.
No!
And he goes, "Whoa, I'm still your son." Because it's like, yeah, whoa, wait, just give me a second. And then another one of his sons.
No, but he would never, when he was show his balls.
Of course.
It's where you came from, son.
Of course. No, of course. It was definitely, that would be very,
Now you're jumping back and forth on either side. It's like he's playing tennis against himself right now.
It's kind of like your ADD brain, actually.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It's kind of like bringing around insult Bill. Look, I'm on vacation. I'm trying to have a good time.
You, mon cher. But you know what else? One of his kids, her kids, see? Even I'm slipping with the pronoun.
Oh, you homophobe, transgender hater. What's your career? We need to end it.
Bruce wasn't there for them.
Because he was a fucking man.
And now that Bruce has become Caitlyn, you think
Hey,
tapping
Bruce,
into the femininity will
Bruce
be better?
won the gold medal. Caitlyn still has to prove herself. She hasn't won shit yet.
She's won all of our hearts.
All right,
No.
but you know something else? Then there's also then falling all over yourself. There's the ignorant being mean about it. And then also no, I never watched the Kardashians.
Oh, that's true.
I hate those fucking shows.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And to be honest with you, I would have to, I'll just sort of walk by the TV and occasionally glance over. I need to ease my way into the fact.
You're gonna watch it over my shoulder.
And I have the fucking right to do that.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, when you make that big of a fucking change. Jesus Christ, I shaved my head. People like, what the fuck?
You're gonna watch it over my shoulder.
And I have the fucking right to do that.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, when you make that big of a fucking change. Jesus Christ, I shaved my head. People like, what the fuck? Yeah, you gotta give people, you gotta be courteous and let people like fucking, all right, let me, okay. You should have like 5-minute visits and then they increase to 10. And just to save his soul, and the devil's like, oh, where did Bruce go? And he's like, I don't know. It's like Angel Heart.
Are you talking about that movie with Lisa Bonet?
Yeah, and Mickey Rourke is fucking great. Louis Cypher. Anyways, who knows? I don't fucking know.
Bill Burr tackled Caitlyn Jenner.
No, I didn't. I'm getting my head around it. I should be allowed to.
Very much. Thank you. Thank you. How are you? Excellent. Thank you for coming out. Very prestigious arena to listen to my dick and shit jokes over the next 90 minutes. No, I'm excited to be here. I am. It's very exciting to be doing stand-up outside of my own country. Yeah, no, not because of you. I'm in another movie. I mean, what the fuck is going on? No, I don't know what it is. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But I think white women started it. It's the worst. The fucking worst. It's all they do is bitch, moan, and complain. I had no idea how difficult it was to be a white woman in the United States of America. Jesus Christ, that dude is everywhere. That's why I love old people. I love old people. They always with their family photos. Cracks me up. They always like, well, they're all proud. Like, well, we had 5 kids, and then they all had 5, and da-da-da-da. It's like, yeah, none of you did shit. I don't recognize anybody in that photo. You just made 30 people who are all taking a shit every day that ends up in a river. That's not a family photo. That's an environmental disaster, and you framed it. You wouldn't have to recycle. Dude, there was 30,000 people, man. Everybody here, you could literally drive your own tank. You could drive a tank. You could throw toxic waste out the top. You could shoot a bald eagle right in the head. There's plenty of them. Plenty of them. Dude, they're shitting all over my tank. What the fuck am I supposed to do? Look, people, I don't read, okay? Seriously, none of my shit is... No, that's where we're going to be headed. How many more strip malls can you make? Places to get donuts and people to get their nails done. Everybody's all excited. This area is really exploding. It's really exploding. It's like, no, dude, people are fucking, and then they're just building more shit.
Laughing already because here in the Cayman Islands interview lounge because comedian Bill Burr has stopped by this morning. Bill, thanks for coming to the Cayman Kind Studio.
Oh, thank you for having me in the Cayman Island
Yes,
Memorial Studios.
That's what it is.
something like
And
that.
we're glad to have you. You got a busy week. We're just looking at your schedule. You're going to be on Fallon and Conan, right, this
Yep.
week?
I'm Media Boy this week. I got a new animated show, or a cartoon, as I still call it, coming out on Netflix. Dad, Mike's dad, and everybody else in the writers' room. It's basically we set it back where in that time where you could, kids today, they wear helmets when they ride bicycles. They have play dates and all that. And back then they just sent you outside, like get out of here. Let's go outside. Yeah, you could literally bring a gun to the airport back then if you had your briefcase. As long as you didn't wave it around, it was fine. It was just like a different time. And I just throughout my career, I've been telling like family stories on stage, and
we had a chance to watch it today. First of all, it's called F is for Family, but probably not for the family. It's an adult version.
Well, it's not for kids,
right? Not for kids.
Yeah, but families will totally be able to relate to this. If you want to go and yeah. If you had any sort of family that I grew up in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, how close is it to your family? Like, how many kids did you grow up with?
Oh no, it's we had 6 kids. So
okay.
There's only 3 kids. I mean, you're not gonna have 6 different kids. Elements and hints and stuff like that. And sometimes it's just a 10-speed bicycle. Other times it's like a catchphrase. Like my dad saying, "I'll put you through that bleeping wall," was something that he used to say. And
you can't say that now. Dads can't say that.
Yeah, you can.
You can.
You can do all of that stuff.
Turn me in.
There's this whole Chicken Little, the sky is falling, and that people believe you can't say things like that stuff you were talking about, like the polar bear with the
Starbucks cookie.
It's the Starbucks polar bear
that is
cookie.
one.
Yes. But F is for Family. When is it available on Netflix?
December 18th.
Okay.
You can binge watch all of them.
Binge watch.
So it took us over a year to draw and do all that. And
that's what people do now.
You can watch it all in about 2 hours, 40
do.
minutes, and be like, "Hey, when's the next 6 coming out?" But I'm really proud of it. It's not just like we can curse on the show, which we obviously.
That's what I meant by saying for the kids.
Yeah, but there's still a lot of we still. Netflix is they put the whole thing out at once, and then if people respond to it, then they just do an order of the second season. So when that's going to happen, I don't know how soon.
You need
that
views,
happens,
right?
so.
I mean,
I'm sure.
Yeah, that's how it
Yes.
works, right?
And we're also coming out the same day as Star Wars. So
Oh.
I'm hoping,
That's right. You can't get tickets to Star Wars, so
yeah.
This is for if you
Maybe
have
people
Netflix.
will watch. People are telling me I'm going to watch while I stand in line for Star Wars.
Yeah,
I'm going to binge
Sleep
watch
out
this
overnight.
stuff.
But that's what people do now. Like, Christine is, got me into Walking Dead. And that's how you guys watch it. Just
Binge watching.
Yeah.
Oh, I watched Bloodline, and I watched
yes.
Peaky Blinders. I'm watching Fargo. And,
It's too easy. I mean, because the next one just rolls and rolls, and
next thing you know,
can't
it's
get
4
off
in the
couch,
morning.
right?
You're like, oh my god, I got to do radio here.
Just want to see what happens in the next episode. Okay, I'm watching another hour. And then it goes and it goes. But I mean, Netflix is such a great venue. They've got, I think, the most Golden Globe nominations.
Oh,
it's
is that right?
Yeah. It's
Are they not
like the
afraid
place
to be not political? Are they not
Like the
afraid
place to
to be not politically correct? Because I mean, in parts of the show, there was like, wow, you.
Well, no, yeah, the
you know what I'm
networks, their notes were basically push it further. It was the dream.
Wow.
But that whole political correctness, it's just, I swear to God.
That's your hot button, Bill.
No, it's like, it isn't though. It's just like people are adults. They understand. Look, if animated characters can destroy all of your parenting in 6 episodes, you're like the worst parent ever.
You're the worst.
It's a scarf.
Yeah,
So now
you're
I have
over
to apologize because you think we... Like, what kind of a dope thinks that Starbucks is going to have a bear with a slit throat in the holidays?
Yeah.
Like they sat around and that's what we're going to do. We have polar bears with its throat cut.
Wait a minute, do we know?
This will drum up business, and then I think
Have they
it's also.
apologized yet? Do we know? Because they
No,
probably no, they haven't apologized
I
yet.
think they're gonna
But I
apologize.
think it becomes like clickbait. It's
Right.
really lazy journalism, and it's an easy thing. And those guys, none of them go to jail. But God forbid you tell a joke in a strip mall
Right.
that somebody and one person out of like 400 doesn't like it, and that becomes a story. And they write a blog about it, and they treat the blogger like they won like a Peabody Award for the New York Times.
Right.
It's just some dope in the crowd who sat there and watched 100 subjects go by, and everything was funny, and then it came to their part of their life. And that was a statement.
Yeah.
He meant that
Right.
one.
It struck a nerve.
Yeah, they're babies.
Have
They're
you,
babies, and if you just stand up to them, they're bullies.
Have you checked?
Because you want to have a drink and watch The Price is Right. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. No, maybe it is. Maybe it is the most difficult job. I mean, I thought roofing in the middle of July is a redhead. You know? I thought that was a difficult job. But evidently, these mothers, they're bending over at the waist, putting DVDs into DVD players. I don't know how they do it.
he changed the world. That's insane. He changed the world. The world was one way, and then Steve Jobs came, and it was another. What did he do? Somebody, for the love of God, what the fuck did that guy do? What did he do? He told other people what to invent? I want my entire music collection in that phone. Get on it! 11 months. Steve Jobs just walking by. I don't hear any thinking going on in there. Just strutting around the office, eating some pretentious fruit like a pear. Right? Just throwing out ideas. There's another one. There's another one I just came up with on the way to work. I was reading a magazine the other day, turning pages, you know. I like to turn pages on a screen that aren't even there. Yeah, wrap your fucking heads around here. I know, this is always uncomfortable. I know, you bought into it, right? That whole advertising, the way they aligned themselves with some of the greatest people of all time. Jesus, Gandhi, me. Remember that? Muhammad Ali, John Lennon, this guy. How the fuck was that dude like any of them? Gandhi didn't have a sweatshop. Nah, he didn't have people leaping to their deaths only to catch a net and get ricocheted back through the window. Their deaths only to catch a net and get ricocheted back through the window to have to put together yet another iPad. John Lennon didn't have children in his basement pressing those fucking albums. I know. New phone can't fit the old charger. This is your hero? This is the guy? This is what all the silence is about? New phone can't fit the old charger, so then you gotta throw it out, ends up in the ocean around some octopus's neck. Do you realize how much sea life is ecstatic that man is no longer walking the earth? That's where it all ends up, you know. Doesn't go in a landfill, ends up in the ocean. You realize that? I hate people who say I don't pollute. I don't pollute. Yeah, you do. You use shit and you throw it out. Well, you think because you put it in like a basket, it just poof. Just remember that flannel shirt you bought back in the day when you got into Pearl Jam? That's out there somewhere. Probably on some porpoise's face, trying to get it off. Stupid little flippers. All the fads. You remember rollerblading? Remember that? Everybody had them. We set up cones, we did little tricks, right? One little homophobic joke killed that entire fad.
Guy's cool, you're talking about the game, then all of a sudden he's just like, you know, there's no gold behind our currency. You realize that? You're like, oh yeah, that's great. Pick up your drink, just fucking walk away. Oh, that's what I'm becoming. Totally into conspiracy. That's why I think Barack Obama's going to win the election. I think they're going to let him win. Because they're in the process of bankrupting this country, and I think that they need a black guy to blame it on. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Dude, it'll totally feed into the rednecks. They'll be like, you see? That makes sense to me. I'm sick of them telling me shit is shocking, that it's completely obvious. Crocodile hunter dies. Oh, can you fucking... Yes, I can totally believe it. It's why I watched the show. I watched it every week because I knew eventually he was going to fucking die, and I wanted to see it. Right? Oh, I like that dog, the bounty hunter video, or the phone message he left. You know, people are like, can you believe he left that? Damn, look at dog. Here it is. I thought he was some racist on his way to a steak and shake, and he's busting out a little Beethoven. God damn, I owe this guy an apology. You know, God, I'd love to see his iPod. I can't imagine the eclectic mix of music. There's so much time I spend alone on the road, man. I actually spent so much time alone on the road, actually like contemplated milk to the point I can't even fucking drink it anymore. I'm sitting there drinking, like, man, this stuff is great, tastes awesome, you know. We should rescue one. You want to do that? I'm like, no, I don't. She's like, why not? I go, because I think a lot of those dogs they're a little fucked in the head. Yeah, how do you think they ended up down there? It's like, dude, that's not a pet store. That's like doggy death row, all right? Why don't we just go to a prison and like adopt an inmate, and on the off chance that maybe they didn't commit the crime, you know, just roll the dice? Dude, fuck that. I want a brand new 2008 Bulldog, all right? I don't want some what are they going to do with the dog? They're going to take him right back down to the prison like some repeat offender, have like shackles on him and stuff. He's just sitting there hopping back in. We knew you'd be back. Yeah, go fuck yourself. Get me a milk bone, you know? Wheel him in like Hannibal Lecter with like that lampshade around his neck. I got to work on my temper, though. Something I really got to do. I let like the thoughts chiming in, like leaning into the frame, spitting out their ideas. It's just like, well, why are you talking? Right? You weren't elected. Shut up. Your husband's not running a lemonade stand here. He's running the country. You don't just chime in. Let me guess, is this considered sexist? It is? Why? Well, okay, you just nodded there, lady. Let me ask you this. All right, at some point, there's going to be the first female president, right? Exactly. Which means at that moment, you're going to have the first male first lady, right? And when that happens, that dude needs to shut his trap. I don't want to hear a word out of him. I want to hear from the president. You, sir, go do some first lady stuff, all right? Go get yourself some gloves that go up to your elbows. Smile indie stuff, all right? Go get yourself some gloves that go up to your elbows. Smile and nod during speeches. Go put your own flair redecorating the White House, right? Which leads you to Michelle Obama, right? Now she's sitting there holding up those hashtags. Remember that hashtag, bring back our girls? Remember that? It's like, that blew my mind. It's like, why are you showing me that? I'm a stand-up comedian. Like, what am I going to do? Call some Navy SEALs and solve it. What am I going to do? Show up with a sharpened mic stand? Hey, Michelle said to bring him back. Oh, it's unreal. I'll tell you what kills me. Hillary Clinton might run. She might run. That blows my mind. I mean, she became a senator. She went from being the president's wife to being a senator. Just like that. Lateral move. It's like what? You're hanging out? You just pick it up? I sucked at sports, and then I banged Tom Brady, and I don't know what happened. I just picked up a ball. I started lacing it. I'm leading receivers. It was incredible. I knew it was going to be like this. You know what's funny? There's actually people out there that think a woman being president is actually a good idea. Yeah. They just come at you with like one horrible idea after another. They have the worst ideas. They do. You ever get to this one, they'll be like, you want to go to brunch? You want to go to brunch on Sunday? And inside you're like, fucking no! But you can't say that. You got to keep her happy, right? So what do? You agree? Yeah, let's go to brunch. See what I'm saying? Where are all those feminists then? You can't find them. They had no feminists in a house fire. You can take the most hardcore feminist, you know, some chick right in your face, you chauvinistic son of a bitch, you know, little short, little haircut, you know. Second those flames break out, she'll twist those little hairs into pigtails. Ooh, I'm just a girl. I want to go play jump rope. I think if you watch those, you're an idiot. I don't understand why you would sit there wasting your time. They all say the same thing. They're all like, you know, over the last 4 years, everything good that happened was because of us. And we would have done more good stuff if it wasn't for those guys. And then the Democrats go, oh, we did all the good stuff. It's like you're all working for the same guy. They bet on both horses. And then it just kind of goes. That guy that says, like, there's a meteor headed right towards the planet. That's the guy you vote for. You go with the psycho, because there's no way there's any corporate money behind that guy, right? Like, that guy is going to come on TV. He's going to come on TV, like, reading files from the Pentagon. Like, you know what else they're doing? Like, just freaking people out.
Wow.
Yes, I did.
Did you pay attention to the election? We got a new mayor here. Bloomberg is up.
I didn't even know there was an election. I honestly don't. I don't pay attention at all. I want my entire music collection in that phone. Get on it! Right? And then these poor, nameless, faceless scientists got to go in a back room and figure it out. How the fuck are we going to get all of this into this? I mean, what year does this guy think this is? This is crazy. This is like Buck Rogers. Dude, my kid has a birthday in like 11 months. Steve Jobs just walking by. I don't hear any thinking going on in there. Jobs just walking by. I don't hear any thinking going on in there. Just strutting around the office, eating some pretentious fruit like a pear, right? Just throwing out ideas. There's another one. There's another one I just came up with on the way to work. I was reading a magazine the other day, turning pages, you know? I like to turn pages on a screen that aren't even there. Yeah, wrap your fucking heads around that, guys!
No, stop it. What are you doing? You're being so bad. Yeah, and you're just sitting there like, she didn't fucking say it like that! She didn't say it like that! Yeah. So now everybody's just like scared shitless. You know? Because I guess if women ran the world, there'd be no war. Evidently, there'd be no due process either. So you just gotta sit there going, You can't do it. You're a man. Look, you can agree with it. You can empathize, sympathy. You can do all of that shit. But you can't be it any more than I can stand here and just be like, I'm a Black Panther. Fight the power. And then I walk out the door, a blue-eyed white dude, and I get to live that fucking life, right? I don't know, ladies. I don't buy it. Maybe you do. I don't. Anytime I hear a guy say I'm a male feminist, I always just think that is the most pathetic, limp dick way ever to try and get some... Right? Yeah. How the fuck do you... What's that?
Ask for consent.
Ask for consent? Doesn't that take the move? Well, Jesus, that kind of took it in a weird way. Dude, whatever the fuck I was saying, however you heard it, that's not what the fuck I'm saying, all right? You know, I really listened to this Me Too movement. I think for the first time in my life, I'm gonna ask for consent. We're gonna have to go hard on this one, right? We had a great fucking time. Now, I don't know how I would hit today. I would just be like, all right, I know what you want to do, but like, you're gonna have to do it. You understand? Like, I'm just gonna stand here and then you just back into me however hard you want. You control how hard you're backing into me. Then I'm gonna lay my hand on your shoulder. You can put your ponytail in it. I will slowly close my hand around it. And if at any point you want to yank your head like that. Law, within the last 2.5 years, got sexually assaulted in this business by a woman. Yeah. And this is my story. I feel like I can live my truth and be brave tonight and share this with you. It's 100% true fucking story. I was doing stand-up. I was doing a private gig. All right? Private gigs are the fucking worst. You do a public gig, anybody can show up. It broadens what you can talk about. Like it was nothing. Just fucking pow. It just kept... I couldn't fucking believe it. I know what you're thinking. You're like, oh, is this a friend of yours? Was she flirting with you? Was this a joke? None of the above. You know what it was? I swear to God, it was like a bully vibe. Like she was trying to get in my head. Like, there you go, you little red dick. Poof, follow that. And she just kept walking. Dude, my first thought as I saw her walking away, I just wanted to punch her in the back of the head as hard as humanly...
All right. I don't know why that got so flat.
You got one question to ask Don Rickles.
Who killed Kennedy?
You think he knows?
Well, yeah. Well, he hung out with Sinatra. I figure 6 degrees of separation. He probably knows. Yeah, why not? Where's Jimmy Hoffa? I'd ask him one of those. You ask him 3 mob questions. One of them he's got the answer to.
You don't have any kids.
No, I don't. I don't like the way you said that. Like you said it's very... O-B a man. O-B a man. Oh, I see. O-B-E-A-H. God, I'm stupid. What is your favorite Pokemon in Pixar? I don't. I'm too old for that. I have no idea what that is. That's that creepy little yellow thing. Those eyes.
This is Southside Steve, and this is Southside Steve TV, and this is Bill Burr.
That's your question?
I'm just saying who you are.
Oh, yeah, all right. I don't like you creep me out with that. The NHL. No, wait a minute. Time out. The NHL is you guys too. So all the owners had to agree with that. And you all had to be like, we gotta like expand this thing.
We thought we'd funnel money into Canada and keep it here, but you guys took it over, like you tend to do. But,
well, I'm not going to apologize for that.
No, you're big on the,
I mean, that's just business, dude. You're acting like we came and knocked you on the head. You know what we're about.
Wait
a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Wait a second.
Is there any specific preparing that you do when you do an urban room, or you just do your regular material?
Yeah, I rent car wash, and I watch. No, it was.
Soul Glow.
Yeah, Soul Glow. I watch that. I make sure I get buy a couple of Red Fox albums. I start talking like this when I get on stage.
You're at your girlfriend. What happens to your dick? Happy holidays. There you go. I'm out of it. Happy holidays. Just go with honesty. This game's easy.
So your Christian background is part of the show. Or at
Yes,
least
and
two
I wanted
episodes.
to talk to you about Jesus after this.
Well, the only reason why I bring it up is some people thought maybe you went a little too far. You know.
As far as what?
Well, they thought that.
Move it up to Seattle. They don't give them their background.
All right, I'm not totally following, but I don't think
You
I
know
want
what
to.
I'm talking about. It's a morning show. I understand.
I like it. Thank you for being
came on.
positive.
That kid
Positive.
missed the graduation, and then it was a feel-good story.
It was a feel-good, and we want to leave.
If you want to feel good about America, you watch the morning shows. You don't watch this, you know.
And
we were
watch-
joking earlier. If that kid's story about the graduation was late night, that would have been a whole different story.
What do you think?
He's still missing. We can't find him. All we found was his hat. But you're watching.
When I'm like, did we really win? But I understand what you're saying. Now,
is that African American thing?
Yeah.
Good. Hey, can you do a shout out for Old Red?
What is it?
The Old Fart Network.
Oh, the Old Fart Network. Okay. Hey, what's going on, you old... What's going on, you old sons of bitches? Turn up your hearing aid. You're watching the Old Fart Channel.
What do you think about...
So evidently what happened was, in World War II, old Adolf came rolling into town, okay, with his tanks with the Porsche engines in them, took over the town in like fucking 90 minutes. She freaked out. She closes up her shop, right? Figured out where all the head Nazis were staying, what hotel. She moved in there, and she started a relationship with one of the Nazis. Yeah, she started fucking a Nazi. She was sucking the dick that did that. Now, just to refresh my memory, what did Sean Connery do again? Oh, you know, every once in a while you give him a little slap. That's what he did. She's sitting there like, hey, Adolf, what's going on? She so sold out her own country, she had to flee it at the end of the war. And I have no idea how many ever seen comes in and takes it over in a couple hours. She must have been terrified, right? And she's a woman. You know, she's into fashion. They show up with those Hugo Boss uniforms. You know, her knees buckle a little bit. Things start getting ugly. People are getting shot in the street. She's freaking out, you know. And she's a woman. And women know, push comes to shove. When you get your back against the wall, no matter how bad it gets, they always have the option of fucking learn this early on. She had the option, and she took it. I can't get mad at her for that, you know? So she's dead and gone. I think she's up there in heaven. I think she made it. She's up there with Sean Connery. Every once in a while, they have a disagreement. He gets a little slap, you know? She doesn't care. Once you shit on a Nazi's chest, I mean, a little backhand's not going to freak you out. Jesus can't say anything. He got a hooker, right? Everybody's got a... yeah, there you go. So, still buy your Coco Chanel. She's still a hero. She was a victim. She was a victim of that time. She was frightened. She was scared. She didn't know what to do. Anyway. So we're living in a fucking weird time. Obviously, beyond all the bullshit that's going on now. Like, every time I think feminism has kind of like... I'm just fucking with you. Feminism doesn't bug me. You know, it doesn't bother me. I'm not afraid of it or anything like that. You know, for the simple fact that I know it's going to fail, you know? And I take comfort in that. I do. I'm not rooting for it because I know it doesn't like me. Yeah. Do you know why I think it's not going to survive? Why it's not going to be successful anyways? Because they still need men's... 300 to 400 people a night for a quarter of a century. Not to mention, it's a male-subsidized league. We gave you a fucking league. None of you showed up. Where are all the feminists? That place should be packed with feminists. Faces painted, wearing jerseys, flashing their titties. Going fucking nuts like the guys do. In the upper deck with their big beer titties. Am I on the Jumbotron? You know this isn't going to end well. Did he say I'm pretty? Ah, oh my God. Get out of the relationship. If every study says that you're smarter, okay, the question you should be asking yourself was, we're so goddamn smart, how are we in the situation we're in? Well, I saw a woman a couple months back, professional soccer player, right? She goes on to ESPN or one of these sports channels, going like, I don't understand, how come female athletes don't make as much as male professional athletes? Right? And all of these men had to sit there and act like they didn't know what the answer was. They had to sit there like dumbfounded, like, I don't know. Why is that? So we used to always have these dumbass arguments. Like one time she came up to me and she goes, okay, explain this to me, Bill. Why does a guy make more an hour to do the exact same job, huh? I go, I'll tell you why. Because in the unlikely event that we're both on a Titanic and it starts to sink, for some fucked up reason, you get to leave with the kids and I have to stay. Yeah, that's why I get the $1 more an hour. No, think about it. If there's a house face, like he's chauvinistic son of a bitch, little short, little haircut, the whole 9 yards, right? Second those flames break out, she's gonna twist those little hairs into pigtails. No, I'm just a girl. I want to go play jump rope. And leave you standing in a burning house like you're not flammable. You know, but I'm not a dick though. I'm not saying I think a woman should make $1 less an hour to do the same job. All I'm saying is if you're gonna make like overly religious, it kind of freaks me out, you know? You know what I mean? Like I don't mind when like black people get really into Jesus though, you know? Because like somehow like the shit stays spiritual. You know, you get a couple of good songs out of it. You know what I mean? People look like they're having a good time. Somehow when like white dudes get too into Jesus, all of a sudden like shit catches on fire. People start dying, somebody says they're Jesus, and they try to fuck every chick in the compound. My girl's actually, she's really like religious. She goes to church every week, and I never go, and it freaks her out. She's like, why don't you go to church? You don't believe in God, and heaven and hell, and all that stuff? Why don't you go? And it's not because I don't believe in a higher power. I definitely do. My thing is when I go to church, I can't get past the fact that I'm just listening to some fucking guy. You ever think of that shit when you go in there? No, they got too much energy for me. You notice that's it? They always have to be doing something. You know, like they can't like take a day off, you know? You can't have a day off when you have a girlfriend. They just like see that open day. They're like, oh my God, let's fucking fill it up with shit. They just come at you with like one horrible idea after another. They have the worst ideas. They do. You ever get to this one, they'll be like, you want to go to brunch? See what I'm saying? Where are all those feminists then? You can't find them. There are no feminists in a house fire. You can take the most hardcore feminist, you know, some chick right in your face, you chauvinistic son of a bitch, you know, little short, little haircut, you know.
Second those flames break out, she'll twist those little hairs into pigtails. Oh, I'm just a girl. I want to go play jump rope.
I am. I had an experience earlier this year. This is all true. No, you don't think so? Some guy just yelled bullshit. Are you saying bullshit, sir, because you don't believe me or because you don't want me to leave? Is that what it is? The little angry circle that you're in? Don't be going and getting happy now. Don't be going and getting soft on me. Don't start hugging people and loving yourself and crying when you see something cute. Hang on to it. It's frightening to listen to, but that's what being a guy is. You're not allowed to have emotions. So that's all of that shit comes out when you drink. Do something dumb so I don't feel stupid. So, yeah, I was always like a booze guy, so like I never fucked with like psychedelics or whatever. So I think, it was just one of those deals. I was out in the desert, man, and the house was kind of nothing threatening, It's just like, it needed it, TV started getting bigger. It's looking like it's gonna fall on me, all right? And I was doing fine. I was like, I know that TV's not getting bigger. And if it is, I don't give a shit. Go ahead. Spill that pixelation all over me. I don't give a fuck. I know I'm tripping. I'm having fun. I'm giggling. I'm laughing at shit. I'm putting things together, right? And everything is fucking great. Just playing it off, right? Going into the fucking bedroom. And I'm just laying down in the bedroom like, dude, what the fuck? What the fuck? And every time I thought I felt the bottom, it would just further into the bed. Further into the bed. Further into the bed. So about a half hour later, my wife comes in. She's like, hey, how you doing? Typical guy. Good. And I went, oh, fuck. I know what this is. This is how I felt growing up. Yeah. This is what the 70s and 80s were like. Both your parents worked. You got a set of keys to the house when you were 3. Ah, get outside. Get the fuck out of my face, right? It was fucking nuts. Yeah, I grew up in a very, angry time. You were afraid of your dad.
Had to my day. I don't get how the other Olsen twin only weighs half a pound more, but she's fucking fine. No, they're so starving, they're weak. That's why whenever they take a picture of them, you ever notice they gotta fucking lean them up against each other? So they don't tip over, they're still trying to look sexy. They're not sexy, they look like aliens, It's a lot of work, but, I think when you meet that special someone, there's a connection, and I can't feel my legs. Let me just lean over here. A woman completes a man, and some other metaphor. No, you know what freaks me out too, really? When you go to a man's house, there's nothing in there. A married guy's house. When you walk in there, there's nothing in there that even suggests a man even lives there. Christ, you're just like your mother. You're fucking out to lunch. That was my dad. No matter what he was bitching about, somehow he would make it about my mother. It would have nothing to do with her. He could somehow find a connection and spin it back. He'd have said, oh, is it raining out? Oh, for Christ's sake, I don't need this shit. Christ, it's the same goddamn thing with your mother. That woman is a fucking cloud hanging over my life. Anytime you got an idea, Christ, This is the worst one. You ever get this one? Want to go to brunch? You want to go to brunch on Sunday? And inside you're like, fucking no! But you can't say that, right? You gotta keep them happy. So what do? You agree. Yeah, let's go to brunch. What a great idea. Why would you want to sleep in on a Sunday when you can go pay $18 for eggs? Nah, you're thinking. I got to stand there with the back of my shirt on fire going, let's go, people, let's go, let's go. So that's how I look at it. No, it's $1 an hour surcharge. That if something fucked up happens, either I can't leave
or I gotta like get in the way of it to give you a head start, like rabid dog, run honey, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. You hear a bump in the night, I gotta go check it out, like yes, he does have a knife. You know what I mean? You can't find him. There are no feminists in a house fire. That's a guarantee. You could take the most hardcore feminist, some chick right in your face, like he's chauvinistic son of a bitch, little short little haircut, the whole 9 yards, right? Second those flames break out, she's gonna twist those little hairs into pigtails. Oh, I'm just a girl. I wanna go play jump rope. And leave you standing in a burning house like you're not flammable. You know, but I'm not. No, not because like, oh, you know, all that political stuff. He's just like too into Jesus for me. I get uncomfortable with that. When people get like overly religious, it kind of freaks me out, you know? You know what I mean? Like I don't mind. I don't mind when like black people get really into Jesus though, you know? Because like somehow like the shit stays spiritual. You know, you get a couple of good songs out of it. You know what I mean? People look like they're having a good time. Somehow when like white dudes get too into Jesus, all of a sudden like shit catches on fire. My girl's actually, she's really like religious. She goes to church every week and I never go and it freaks her out. She's like, why don't you go to church? You don't believe in God and heaven and hell and all that stuff? Why don't you go? And it's not because I don't believe in a higher power. I definitely do. My thing is when I go to church, I can't get past the fact that I'm just listening to some fucking guy. You ever think of that shit when they listen to another human being tell you what to eat and when to eat it? Don't eat meat this Friday. If you eat meat this Friday, you are going to hell. It's like, dude, I'm going to a cookout on Friday. If you eat that fucking cheeseburger, buddy, that is it for you. Who is this guy? Dude, I'll eat a cheeseburger whenever I want to. And I'll jerk off. It's my dick. Why am I listening to this guy? I'll fucking jerk off while I eat a cheeseburger. What do you think about that? I'm out, okay? You guys party way too fucking hard for me, okay? I got off at about 22 exits ago. I didn't see that page in the book. I don't know what you guys are doing. I can't believe they're still in business. People are still showing up. Name one other business that could survive that shit. You think if they were fucking kids at Walmart, they could sell rakes the next day? And just try to thing. I was like happy for him, man. He was in horrible health. You know what I mean? Everybody just wanted the guy to keep hanging on. It's ridiculous. They're like wheeling him from room to room, and people are still flipping. Oh, God, I think he's gonna die. I think he's gonna die. I'm so. It's like, well, I think he's gonna go to heaven. I mean, it's got to be better than that shit. I bet the last 2 months of his life, he was just sitting in that chair going, God, I wish the world would stop praying for me. Actually, I had this black dude moved in my building, man, lives on the same floor as me. He's one of these dudes, every time he's hilarious. Every time he says some shit, right after he's done saying the shit, he repeats like the most important part of like the previous sentence. It's hilarious. Everything he said will be like, yo, my man came in, he put that shit on the table. Put it on the table! It's hilarious! No, it's like the typical white dude from like the suburbs, you know what I mean? Had no frame of reference, you know? It's my only frame of reference with black people was like those, remember those early 90s gangster rap videos? Throw the fucking LA riots in there, man. It was fucking horrible PR. I'm watching the videos, look, he's got a nice car, he's got all the women, and he's still fucking mad. These black dudes are never happy. But after 10 years of living in this city, this is how I narrow it down. Whether black dude scares me or not. Black dudes with dirty, feels comfortable up to about like 98th, 99th Street, you know what I'm saying? The second the streets start getting into like triple digits, like 100, 101st Street, start getting like a little asthma, like, ah, fuck, it's starting to get a little high up here. You feel that little tightness in your chest? Can you feel that? 106th Street, you're like leaning on shit, like, dude, where'd all the cabs go? How come there's no taxis up here? Dude, what's a bodega? For like 105th Street, 103rd, you know, which is like the first stop in Harlem where I can still look over my shoulder and see like all the white people like disappearing over the horizon, you know? But she goes, no, man, you want to get on the Uptown 2-3 train, you want to get off at 125th Street. I'm like, ah, fuck, 125th Street.
Jesus Christ, that's like right in the middle of everything. I'm gonna be surrounded on all four sides. I can't fucking do this. So, I thought I was on like some reality show at that point, like some sort of like white guy survivor. It was ridiculous. So I'm thinking, I gotta walk right by these guys, right? You know what's funny? I think that they were actually more surprised to see me than I was scared, you know? And I was really, really scared, you know, but I'm also really, really white, you know? Like shockingly Caucasian. You know what I mean? Like if you're not ready for me, I can like surprise you. No, especially